Hello everyone, a very good morning. Welcome back to part two, only our second live hour of 2025. And what a reception to our first launch of the year. It's going very, very fast indeed. So much so that 40% of the stock by the end of the last show had gone in one show. So you've been eagerly awaiting this. I can tell you, it's called Petals Threads, and you're loving it. And when you see the finished cards in a few minutes, you'll understand why so many people have fallen in love with this collection. Thank you for your help, by the way, on the flowers.
Gerberas. I remember.
And eucalyptus and roses and hydrangeas. Yeah, your help with that is greatly appreciated. This is the part of the collection that's the heart of it, really. This is the focal point. You've got that magical set of doily dies there, ranging in size, as you can see. There's 7 doily dies in that central rosette in the middle. Around it, you've then got those beautiful curved eucalyptus branches. You've got your stunning decoupage rose and the hydrangeas there as well, and the gerberas at the bottom, which was confusing us at the beginning, are down the bottom there as well. And of course, all the lovely artwork you can see on the packaging, that's for you to download and print off absolutely free. More on that in a second. That's the heart of it. Down the bottom here, you've then got to put your flowers in. You've got the teapot, you've got the pail or the bucket, you've got the beautiful vase there as well. Now these confused me. When I first came in this morning and I saw them, I thought, what do they do? Well, basically they'll give you a raised feature if you wanted to, and they'll also give you an aperture feature. So if I just show you, like this card here, for example, if I just drop that in, that's giving you that lovely wave going east to west across the card. Another one here, thank you Laura, this one here, so that's an aperture. And you can make it quite deep if you want to. You can make it risen if you want to as well. That's the straight aperture, like a belt going across the centre of it, almost like a letterbox design that the flowers are popping through. So really useful and handy, those dies. Probably you haven't got anything quite like that. And then next to here, this is my favourite part of the whole collection, if I'm allowed a favourite. Basically, it's a, you know when you see butterflies' wings, sometimes they stay attached to the card. You can lift the wings up and you can see the card underneath. Well, it's the same concept as that, but this time with the leaves. So you're getting one set of leaves that have got rounded, eucalyptus, and then you get the other leaves that are more pointed. And you can tuck things into them, like we've done on this card here. Really, really lovely effect. You can use it as a great background here, using the perfect papers as a background. You can see the leaves are lifted, but you can see the perfect paper behind it. So that's a really, really novel idea. Lots of you falling in love with that. And then the sentiments here, probably different to other sentiments that you've already got. Sent with happiness, sent with love, and also you are wonderful at the bottom. And of course you can snip, should I say, away the top little words if you wanted to, and just have the word love or just have the word happiness if you choose. Now the whole collection, as you're watching us on launch day, we give you the discount. Everybody gets the discounted price of $109.99. It will go up if we have stock at the end of the week to $124.99, so you're saving basically £15. Also, it is delivered free of charge in the UK because you're spending over £50. So free P&P for you. If you're watching us in America, and hello to you if you are, probably it's towards our later shows in the day that we have American viewers, because obviously it's quite early in the morning still over in the USA. Your P&P shipping and handling is $14.95 if you go for the die set and the perfect papers. If you just go for the die set, your P&P and shipping and handling is only £4.95. Okay, so that's where we are. 40% of the stock has gone in the first live show. We'll go through the boards with lovely Laura, who's here today.
Yep.
Busy first show, Laura, wasn't it?
Do you know, I'm not surprised though. I think what an amazing collection to be gorgeous. The first one. It is absolutely stunning, and obviously I think everybody at home thinks it is as well. So to start off with, you do have that huge doily type die. Now you can see you've got mats and layers behind this as well. So like in the earlier show, you could be using it like this. So you could make your card bases from these as well, because they are a really nice size.
And that was your demo from the first show, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that's what we did in the first show. So you could make your card bases with it. Equally, you've still got even the mat and layers here for the smaller ones as well. So you can bring those out if you want, or equally use them on their own. Now, this is a cut in white cardstock, and that's showing you the dice that you're getting, but this is cut with the vignettes. So you do have like slight shading going in where you've got those cut lines. You've got shading just to add more texture into those. So that's one.
Beautiful.
And then now this, I don't have to say anything about it. It is just absolutely stunning. So
no
you've
words.
got your hydrangeas, your roses, and your gerberas, and you've got your smaller size rose there as well. So you've got different sizes in them as well. I like that you've got the different colourways. You've got the smaller rows, so you can really build these up. You've got the stems as well that you can pop in behind to add filler. Now this part I absolutely adore. Cut this out in the mirrored vignettes, and then you can use them to go either way. So like here, we did it going round that way, but obviously if you just flip it then, you could build that up going that way as well. So you could almost make a wreath with them as well if you wanted to.
You've got a lefty and a righty.
Yeah, and you can really build them up. And the fact that you've got those flowers in different sizes just makes it effortless when you put them together.
Linda McLeod says on Facebook, good afternoon, Dave, Laura and Miss Taz. Beautiful collection. I think it would work well with the Loving Hands collection.
Oh.
Yeah, Taz is saying yes, it would. Yeah. But the palms that are holding out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would work well, wouldn't it?
Do you know, I think this would work with so many collections though, when you think of different ways that you can use them. So then we've got your elements then, you can build your flowers into it. So like we did this one earlier, in the earlier show, you know, popping them there on the teapot, so you could build them up like that. I'm going to sneeze.
You can watch that back while you're sneezing. I'll tell them. You can watch that one back, the first show, on YouTube and also on our Facebook page as well. So you can watch those back a bit later. You're right.
Yeah. I love the fact you've got the lid as well. So even the cork, you've got almost like the scented sticks as well. So you could pop them in there if you want to use them in a different way. Equally, build them up behind your florals as well. Like this one, in the earlier show. Like I just popped it, but there next to it, so it's like it's still part of it. You know, you've just popped that out, and it just adds that extra little touch in it. But it's just those little details like that Carnation think about. And then our next one,
love this.
We've got those proud leaves. Now these will cut out and they stay in the center, so you can mold these and manipulate these and have them sticking out of your projects or coming out of those apertures. But the lovely thing with these as well is if you're building up like a big wreath with those florals, there is nothing stopping you cutting that out in green and then just snipping those away. And then you've got a whole array then of different size leaves, foliage that you could use behind your flowers as well. So you can use it that way. But these are, like I say, so I don't think I've seen something like that with
I've only seen it with butterflies' wings, not with
leaves
foliage.
before.
Yeah.
So then you've got the apertures. Now you do have them in different shapes. So you've got the matte layers as well. So if you want to, you can build them up like that, so they don't have to be an aperture. Equally though, have it as an aperture. You've got this stunning like cut lines going round the side, so it really does draw your eye in straight away, and it's just one cut going through.
And it's different. That's what I like.
It is, especially I think with the S shape, it just draws your eye in. And then I absolutely adore these sentiments. You've got Scent with Love, Scent with Happiness, and You Are Wonderful. So like I was saying, you could snip those top ones out. They are small enough that you could easily just go in and snip those out. So you could just have happiness or love. So if you're doing like scrapbooking, if you're making memory books, things like that, you can have wonderful. So they could be your titles. Equally, if you're making a card and you just want wonderful or happiness on there, you can do that. But they're stunning, and the fact you've got the mats there as well, so you can draw them to the front or have them in the background of your project.
Okay, let me show you what you can do with this collection then. 45% now of the stock has gone, I've just been told. 45% gone, is going very quickly, and there's another show today at 2 as well. Look at this. Fiona Abbott has made this. Didn't show you this one in the first show. So you can make diddy little cards, or you can make huge statement cards. It's entirely up to you. That's just using the bucket with just a part of the hydrangea and one of the roses and the Scent with Love message, which is rather lovely. Then using the doily, which is so stunning. Look at that. Fiona's done this one as well. You Are Wonderful. Look at the dimension on that as well. Beautiful. If you want the glue gel, by the way, the pin flare glue gel, that will be on our website as well, along with the perfect papers or pro print paper. We've got the perfect papers coming up in a second, so I'll tell you about those. This one's been done by Pam Simpson. You can utilise maybe a 7x7 or 8x8 card blank and put the doily on there, which is what Pam Simpson's done with this one, which is rather gorgeous. Look at this one. And this is using a gold cardstock with the font. Isn't that just beautiful? And what I love about them as well is that they're appropriate for every occasion that you'd need to make a card for. So that could be a get well soon card, it could be a happy anniversary card, it could be, and I hope it isn't, a sympathy card. It could be for a birthday, anything at all. So that's why I think this is a good investment collection. This, I mean, all Carnation collections are good investments, but this one in particular is a good all-rounder. And you know, maybe you're making a card for someone who's in a care home, isn't allowed fresh flowers, or is in hospital, isn't allowed fresh flowers. Then this is the next best thing, to have the flowers out of paper and card, and beautiful flowers they are as well. Now, while I'm just showing you some of those finished cards, which are gorgeous, let me just remind you about the perfect papers. Now, I mentioned earlier, if you're watching this in America and you want the perfect papers alongside your die set, your shipping and handling will be $14.95. That's for the papers and also for the dies. If you're in the UK and you're going for the dies, you've got free P&P because you're spending over £50. Add the perfect papers in to your order at the same time. And these have been selected to complement the artwork. So every colour here is going to go with every colour of petal, every colour of that's basically used in the artwork throughout the collection. So there's a third of them are printed with a pattern on. Actually, a third of them are block printed, and 2/3 of them have got subtle patterns on them as well, which are beautiful. But all these colourways, as you can see, have been used to great effect to complement the artwork. This is using some of the perfect papers on this card just here. Oh, look at this. That's great use of that aperture die as well in the middle. Isn't that just beautiful? Beautiful, huh? So $14.99 for your perfect papers. You are going to get 48 of them, 300 GSM, and that is available too at the moment. Everything is in stock at the moment, but the stock of the main collection is going very fast. Now, I know many of you who religiously watch our launches know this anyway, but for those of you that are new, if you want the artwork, and why wouldn't you have the artwork, it is free. It's the free gift from Carnation that every time we bring a collection, they always give you the artwork free. So order it on our website now, carnationcrafts.co.uk. Then pop to the download section and then click on free downloads, and you'll find that all the artwork for even the doily artwork is there for you. Subtle artwork. You've got the artwork for all the petals, all the leaves as well. Even artwork for the jug over here and the bucket and the teapot too. Print all that off free of charge, absolutely free. You'll find some background papers on there as well, which are free to print off too, that work with this. And it's there, inserts as well, you can print off free of charge too. 250101 is the first collection of 2025, and 45% of it has gone already. Right, Laura?
Ready?
Over to you.
Right, so I'm starting off with the perfect papers, and we're going to pop this down. So I'm just going to use some foam tape and you can grab that on Carnation. That is going to go on there. So I've got this darker green, and I'm using the solid to start off with. So I've got that there. Then I'm going to go in with some white. So just using some of our smooth cardstock.
Perfect papers. I mean, if you're spending £110 on a collection, it's an absolute foregone conclusion that you go for the perfect papers as well, because you get the most out of the artwork then, don't you?
Yeah, you do. And do you know what? It's so nice just to have, like, you might have cardstock at home that you think, oh, I've got, you know, cardstock that shade, but this is the perfect shade to go with it. You know, the colours have been pulled out of the artwork, so this, you are never going to get a better colour match.
No.
Or coordination.
What's
than
the
with
alternative?
these.
With rummaging through your stash at home, trying to find a colour match, and would it be a perfect match? Probably not.
And you know what? It's just so nice sometimes just to have, you know, I think we all craft to like escape and to relax.
Yeah.
You know, none of us think, oh, I'm going to get into crafting because, you know, I'm going to just stress about colour coordination and, you know, putting cardstock together and things like that. So it's just so nice that you don't, you know, you can just grab the paper pack, grab your die set, obviously have your printouts there, and you don't have to think about anything. You don't need to think about what else do I need? Do I need this? Do I need that? All you need is just some white cardstock for your bases and things, and that's it.
And please, whatever you do, don't settle for second best when it comes to copier paper for printing the artwork on. Please invest in ProPrint. We have that on our website as well. You get the best results, you get the best pop of colour with ProPrint paper.
You do.
Yeah.
Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to build up some of these florals. Okay, so we've got our hydrangeas, and what you're going to do with these is, oh, I should have put some glue in my syringe.
Hi to Myra Evans. Myra's watching. Crafty Jackie, Sandra Hamilton, Linda McLeod, all watching on Facebook at the moment. Lots of you watching on YouTube too.
So that. Hold it the right way around. That is going to fit on there like that.
Yeah.
So you've got your decoupage layers to build onto that, and then you've got a smaller one. And then these will just decoupage up. But before I stick that down, I'm going to do my leaves first. So what I'm going to do for this one is I've got this, so this is going to sit about there like that, and then I wanted to build this up more. So what I've done is, can you see how you've got almost like one branch just going this way, and then it kind of bends over.
And it bends just at the right
angle. Yeah, it does. They have been designed. But what I've done is I've cut that, because like I say, always look at your dies, because there's always snippability with them. You always go in and change them, and that's what I've done.
Yeah.
So now I've got two smaller ones, but they still look as if they've almost been designed that way. It doesn't. You wouldn't look at them and think, oh, well, she's cut those out. They still work absolutely perfectly.
Thanks for telling us it was eucalyptus. I mean, it's pretty obvious now we know, but at the time we didn't work it out.
But it's obvious to you. It still just leaves to me. So I'm just going to put a little bit of shape into these. And then I'm just going to go in with my pin flare. If you have never used pin flare and you are looking again in this collection, add it in, because it will be your best friend. And especially with like the florals, do you know when you're moving things and then you want to tuck things in, you know, you can just tuck it into the glue that's already there. It just makes life so much easier.
And pin flare is on our website, carnationcrafts.co.uk, if you want it. I think it's your new best friend when it comes to sticking things down. You can use foam pads, but I think pin flare just gives you more movability.
Yeah, it does, and it's also with foam pads. Like the glue gel will obviously dome. So if you've gone in and you've put shape into it like that now, if I put a foam pad on there now, foam pads are flat, so that's just going to go flat as soon as I stick it down. So
and they can be visible,
I do use foam pads. I use foam pads a lot, but it depends on what I'm using it for.
Pam Simpson on our design team, she says, hi Laura, Dave and Taz, stunning collection to start 2025, gorgeous florals and my favourite colours. Thanks Pam.
Hi Pam.
Fabulous cards by the way Pam, thank you.
So you can see now I've kind of changed the shape of it.
Yep.
And then we're going to go in with our floral. And then let's just build these how we want them.
Do you do a dummy run before you put the glue down? Do you kind of do a dry
dummy run?
Yeah, without putting glue to see how it looks?
Yeah, so if I was doing this at home now, I would, so when I was on the design team, what I would do was I would get the collection home. So whatever it was, like say if it was this now, I'd get it home and then I'd print out like 3 or 4 prints. So I'd print out 3 or 4 times whatever the amount was.
Yeah.
And then I would just sit there, say tonight, and I would cut everything out. So I would just sit there with my die cutting machine and cut everything out. And I'd have like a little plastic container or something next to me, and I would just pop all the die cuts in there. And then the next day, or the day after or whatever, when I was crafting, I would just have that little box next to me, and then I'd pull, so I'd have like, you know, my pile of hydrangeas there, my pile of roses there, and everything. And then, so like when I've done this card, I just have them like that, so I wouldn't have them decoupaged up. And then just place them like where you think you want them, because then you can just move stuff around, and then don't commit to anything, just keep moving them around, because like you might pop that there, but then actually when you add in these bits then think, oh actually no, I want to move that, it needs to go there. But you know, especially though if you are somebody that, you know, you change your mind, or you're not very good, or you know, you're not confident of putting things together like this, pin flare will be your best friend, because even once you've put it down, just pick it up. Like you will have a bit of glue there, but by the time you put something else over it, it's kind of, you don't notice it then.
If you think about it, the design team do a fantastic job because they have nothing to go by. You have their finished cards to inspire you. That's what they do it for. But they, when they actually get the dies, don't have anything to go by at all. So they just kind of make it up as they go along. So yeah, they do a great team. So all our design team are fantastic, amazing.
They are. They do such a good job, and you can tell they've had so much fun with this because there's just so many there. There's, I don't even know how many cards. Like we've shown quite a lot. We've got another pile over to the side that we haven't even looked at yet. So what I'm going to do now is, you've got these little roses, because one thing I love about this is you do have the different size florals as well. Now I've just popped some foam pads on here just for speed, because even these florals, which I just think are the sweetest little roses, you have got the decoupage layers. So we've got one on, and then add that one there. So you can see even that.
Cute.
You've
So
even
sweet.
got such dimension on them as well. So add a bit of glue to the back of that, and then I'm going to tuck that in there. And this is the nice thing, but you know, by the time you add in your decoupage layers and then you start tucking things in, you've got such dimension on the flowers that it really builds everything up. So by the time you've finished, everything just looks so 3D. Like even these ones. So I've got the gerberas. I'm doing well today, Dave.
You are,
I'm on the ball. I think it's like my 5 cups of coffee's kicked in. Right, so we'll add just some foam on here for speed. So we've got...
You'll be straight around the garden centre looking for gerberas later.
This is going to sit on there. And then you've got smaller ones as well. So you've got different sizes as well. So don't look at it and think, well, that's just the decoupage of that. It's not. They are different sizes. If I stick foam pad on there, just to raise that one up. So you can see you've got the 2 different sizes of them.
Because they do 2 jobs. They can be for decoupage, but also you could have them as 2 different sized gerberas, couldn't you?
Yeah, so there's nothing to stop you using that on its own, especially when you're doing something like this, because it could just be like a little tuck-in that you wouldn't even know that if it was supposed to be there or if it wasn't supposed to be there. And then you've got another layer.
But don't those colours look so classy? They look so stylish. I mean, that could be for a wedding, happy occasion, engagement, anniversary. It could be for a
There's no
cup.
occasion, is there?
No.
There's absolutely no occasion that you could say that that does not work for. That it'll just work for so many. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to pop in.
Pam Simpson on the design team, she says, snap, Laura. I usually cut 6 of each sheet and cut it out at night. And then I put in containers each vignette. So yeah, she does the same as you used to.
Yeah, I just find it so much easier, do you know, because you've got everything there, so you can just look at it. And it's so much easier than looking at the die. So like instead of me pulling out, like if you imagine that's the die, instead of me holding the die and thinking, oh, is that going to work? It's just so much easier to pull out the actual artwork and just hold it there and just go, well, that fits in there perfectly. And sometimes, you know, if you look at things like if you didn't print it out, so say you were just looking at it on the computer and thinking, oh, what am I going to use? What do I need to print out? It can be so hard to kind of judge. Like, it's so much easier to just have everything there. And, you know, even if you don't use it all, you're going to use it at some point. So just put it in a little bag, keep it with your dies, and then it's there then, ready for you for whenever it is that you do need come to use it.
And, you know, I think that's what makes Carnation special, is the fact that that artwork is there for you free. You know, what artists do you know that give away their artwork and say you can use my artwork to make money for yourself or for good causes? You know, artists paint and then sell their work for profit. But Nick and the team here who do all the artwork for you, give it to you free as a thank you for buying the dies. So.
Yeah, and I think that's the really nice thing, because Nick does draw everything. You know that
where it's
everything,
come from.
you know where it's come from, and you know that everything's going to work. So even like we're saying about, you know, the collections just work together. You know, that is why, because Nick draws everything, and obviously he knows what he's done. Everything is to his style. So it's not like a company that's gone out, you know, not that there's anything wrong with it, but it's not a company that's gone out and like bought this artwork from somebody and then for the next one they buy it off somebody else, you know, and things like that. It's all coming from one place and from the same person. So
I think that makes it special, even more special.
Yeah, it's so lovely, isn't it? And like you say, how often do you actually know where it comes from? Because I know I've had so many and I couldn't tell you where they've come from.
Fifi Soleil, that's a great name. Says another stunning collection from Carnation Crafts. Thanks, Fifi. 45% of the stock had gone just after we came on air this hour. This is our second show of the day. There's another show at 2 and 3 more shows tomorrow, if they're still stock.
There is.
Big if.
Right, so all I'm doing now, so I've added in the decoupage to the main part for there, but like you said, you don't have to, and I'm not going to now for the rest of it. So because I'm just like tucking these in, adding in those pops of colour where I want them, so I'm just going to go in and just add in just little bits here and there. And this is the nice thing. So like I said, with the pin flare, you know, you can pick things up and you can tuck them in just anywhere where you think, oh, I just want to add a little bit of colour there, or you just want to add a little something in somewhere else. You can do that with this.
And the shapes of the flowers work really well together. You've got the roundedness of the hydrangea and the rose. You've got the more angular effects of the eucalyptus as well. So you've got the rounded and soft and the sharp and direct all working in harmony together, haven't you?
Yeah, and I love the colours as well. They just complement each other so well. Even now, just bringing in different colourways. But like the next card that I'm going to do, I completely stay away from these colours and I stay with the pink theme.
Okay.
So like there's just so many different ways that you can use them.
Wendy Clark's agreeing with me. The dimension on this is incredible. It literally leaps off the card. And when that pin flare glue gel is dry, that will be rock solid.
Yeah, it will. So if I just, let me just move them so I don't knock it over. Like if I hold that to the side, and then you'll see, look at that.
Isn't that amazing? That's a work of art. That's a flower arrangement in its own right, in paper. That colour combination I love.
It's really pretty, isn't it? But just the flowers, it's just so easy and fun, and just it's just effortless crafting with this collection. It is so pretty. Honestly, obviously we're doing 3 shows today.
Yep.
We're doing 3 shows tomorrow, and then we've got different stock for hobby maker shows on Wednesday. So I've had a lot of shows to prep. I haven't struggled at all.
No.
I've completely flown through the prep.
All different
with
demos.
this. Yeah.
Let me show you some of the other ones, all coming from this collection, remember, which, if that last card hasn't made you want this collection, I don't know what will make you want it. Fiona Abbott has done this one, using the vase and a 10th-fold card here, as you can see, with the hydrangeas. Really lovely. And using the aperture die, the straight-sided aperture die, to cut into it, and it gives a lovely, almost like a window that the vase is in front of. Love that. And on this one, this is Fiona Abbott's done this one as well, and Fiona's used the wavy aperture to create an edge, and then just tucked in the roses and the hydrangeas and the gerberas underneath that edge, which is rather gorgeous. Then we're going to find a few more. Again, the aperture's been used on this to great effect. Actually, what Barbara Treadwell's done on this one, she's used the proud leaves as a background, then put another layer of cardstock over the top and used the aperture, the wavy aperture, to act like a window. And then we've got the rose and a few of the berries or buds in the vase there as well, which is rather lovely. Let me show you another one. This one I don't think I've shown you yet. This is Sue Dalrymple. Hi Sue, if you're watching. How gorgeous is that? I mean, that's almost like a halo around that flower arrangement with the doily. It's beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. A couple more. Now this is using nesting dies that we haven't got in the show, but they will probably be on our website if you wanted to have a little look for them. So this is how you can incorporate previous die collections that you've got from Carnation. You know, although it's a standalone collection in its own right, there's nothing stopping you looking back at the Helping Hands was one that was mentioned a few minutes ago. That would complement this collection well as well. But look at that, that's using the tuck-ins. I love the way this has been done because the flowers are tucked in underneath those leaves that have been lifted up. I love that. It's like it's protecting them or holding on to them. Really lovely. So the collection, if you want it, it's the first collection of 2025. It is $109.99. You can split it into interest-free payments if you want to use ClearPay or PayPal Pay in 3. That is an option for you. I know most of you buy it outright. That's absolutely fine. Of course you can, debit or credit card. It's free P&P if you're in the UK. The thing is now our studio is literally next door to where all your packaging is being done. Your postage and packaging is through that door there. And they're beavering away now. As soon as the order comes through on the computer, they're there taking it off the shelf, putting it into this envelope and sending it out to you. Our collection today is at 2 o'clock. So if you order now, It'll probably be on its way this afternoon, and you might even get it as early as tomorrow, or certainly the next day. Carnation are one of the quickest at dispatching orders that I've ever known. So order it today. It's $109.99. Remember, after you've ordered it and you've got that lovely kind of glow thinking it's coming, go to the website, or you stay on the website and go to downloads. Free downloads, click on that, and then you'll see the artwork there, the vignettes as we like to call it, and all the artwork, even for the doilies. They don't just leave the doilies as just use white cardstock. They've given you subtle artwork for the doilies as well. It's all there to print off absolutely free, as many times as you like, and there's also inserts and background papers and sentiments and things like that that you can print off free as well. And you might be making cards with this as early as tomorrow. Stranger things have happened. 250101. Okay, Laura? Go to.
Right, so for this one, I'm going to use the aperture. So for this one, we're going pink, and obviously the card I just made was very full. I had lots of flowers. So for this one, I'm going more simple.
Okay.
Okay, so I've got my card, and then I've got the basic colour, the solid colour in the pink. Okay, so like I said, you get two of every colour you get in a solid, and then you get a swirly pattern and a floral. So I'm using the swirl pattern with this one. It's so subtle, it's absolutely stunning. So I've got the solid pink to start off with.
And your perfect papers are only $14.99. You get 48 sheets. It's not paper, it's actually 300 GSM cardstock. So it's a coated card too, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So you could use it, it is 300 GSM, so you could use it as a card basis if you want to. It equally, it'll still die cut perfectly as well. That is just going to sit on there, and then this one is just going to sit on top of that one. So, and they just work perfectly. And do you know what's really nice as well, and you'll see in some of the samples the DT have done, because you've got the different colours in the flowers, even if you bring in the pink with the yellow or the pink with the green from the perfect papers, like when you look at it there, none of them, they all work together.
Yeah.
So even if you mix the colours in that, they're the right shade, that they all work together. So there's it takes away any
clashes.
Yeah, and it just takes away, if there was any doubt of you thinking at home, I don't know if I can make pretty cards with this collection.
If you're
that
thinking,
just eliminates anything.
If you're thinking, well, I've got loads of cardstock at home, I'm sure I've got colours that will match. The chances are, if you've got a pink cardstock, it won't be the right shade of pink and it just wouldn't work.
Yeah, and do you know what? It's so nice to just have the pack there, so you know you can just grab it. You know that it's going to work perfectly with absolutely any colours that you put in, and especially like the oranges and the peaches in the flowers. You know, it can be hard to find the right shade of pink that would actually work with like a peach. Do you know what I mean? So it's just so nice to have that there. So the next layer that we've done now, I've got the smooth cardstock, and you can see I've cut the aperture in. And now that is going to sit there like so. Now I've used the tape again. I've used the thinner tape for this one, because obviously I've got that thin strip where the aperture is.
Yeah.
And then if you are putting foam pads on the back of your card when you've done an aperture, just make sure you try and get as close to that aperture as you can, because there's nothing worse than if this starts like sinking down and it kind of defeats the purpose of it. I'm just going to turn that a minute, and then that is just going to sit, sorry if you can see my hand, on there. There you go.
I love the way that each layer is just ever so slightly smaller, gives you like a stepped edge.
I absolutely, do you know, it's the shape of it as well. I think it's something so different. You know, I know you've got the straight one in there as well, but what I love about it, equally, like I'm using it this way now, but there's nothing, it could go that way.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways you could use it. You could use it at the bottom as a border, use it in the middle, again as a border going through your cards. There's so many different ways that you could use that. Now I am using it like this as an aperture, and I'm keeping that empty, but equally you've got the matte layers there as well. So you could put the matte layers in there and build that up as well. So lots of different ways that you can use it. So then we're going to go in with our vase, or vase.
And look at the artwork for the vase. I mean, to do that yourself, I mean, I'm not saying that you're not a good colourist, you probably are, but it's been done to such a degree, it looks like glass. It really, really does.
Yeah.
If you want to put some glossy accents on it to give it a shine, you can do that.
And the thing is, as well, the one thing I found a lot of people say is they make and sell a lot with Carnation. And I think one of the reasons for that is if you wouldn't necessarily buy that die if it didn't have the artwork, because the amount of time it would take you, even if you are an amazing colorist, it would still take you an amount of time to color it in to that level, whereas all you're doing is just printing, and you can print it off again and again, so you're not investing that time into colouring in.
I know some people that use the vignettes as well as like a training source. You know, you can actually
that's a good idea.
Use the vignettes to practice your colouring, use the colours that Nick has picked out, and perfect your colouring, whether it's with paint or whether it's with pens or pencils.
That's a good idea. But that's going to sit about there, because I want to pop that there. So I'm going to pop my sentiment on first, so then I've got, because my sentiment is kind of going to be my base, so I know where I'm going. So I'm just going to pop this on. So I've cut out the matte in white, and then I've cut out Scent with Happiness in that same pink. So everything just coordinates absolutely perfectly with this, which again, it just
so
eliminates.
You've cut the sentiment out of one of the perfect paper sheets, yeah?
Yes, so that same pink that I've used there in the background, I've cut that out, so you can see how everything just coordinates in.
So fresh.
So we've got that. And do you know, like that, it makes me think of like Easter, like really spring colours. That is going to sit now.
That won't be far away. That'll be here before you know it.
I know. I went into the shop, Dave.
Easter eggs are there.
I think it was New Year's Day, and it was full. The aisle was full of Easter eggs. I was just like, "What is going on here?"
I was working with someone the other day that just came in and said, "I'm so happy. I've just had my first Cadbury's cream egg."
Oh no, it's way too early for that. No. That is
I haven't eaten all the Quality Street yet.
I was going to say, I've still got like a box of Heroes and Celebrations.
Yeah.
Like, can't be having a cream egg yet.
Hello to Ian who's watching. Hi Ian. Sonal says, good morning from Tampa, Florida. It's very cold here today. Sonal, it's very cold here as well. I'll tell you what, I'll swap you. I think it was about 2 degrees this morning when we came in, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah. Was it?
Oh yeah, when I
came in later.
You got, yeah, it was minus 0.5 when me and Charles came in. Right, so I've got these little like sprigs, and you can see you've got one in pink and one in white. They are different, but you've got the different colorways there that you can use, and I'm going to use these now. But what I'm going to do, because I want them to be at different levels, I'm going to use a little bit of glue.
The thing is, you've got the rounded, soft kind of curves of the roses and the hydrangeas and the gerberas, and then you've got the dramatic kind of pointedness of the buds that are here, and the eucalyptus too. Yeah,
it's just effortless how everything works. It's just, you know, you don't have to think about anything. All you've got to think about is what excuse you're going to say when you've just been in your craft room all day enjoying playing these instead of doing the dishes or the housework. Or
you've got plants for height, you've got plants for width, and yeah, beautiful.
Right, so they're going to go there like that, and then this one I am going to cut down slightly. So I'm just going to cut that bit. Off a little bit of glue.
I don't know why I'm asking you this, but are they little ferns or buds? They're buds, aren't they?
Yeah, little buds, aren't they?
Maybe little rosebuds. Yeah.
I'm just going to go, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They're beautiful, whatever they are.
That's going to go there, and then I'm going to do exactly the same thing with this one. And yeah, I'm going to flip it, and then I'm going to cut it over there. Pop a little bit of glue, and then tuck that one in there. So we've got the different heights coming in. And we're done. So you can make something, you know, more simple, stylish.
Sometimes the simplest cards are the most dramatic and the most eye-catching. That's really lovely.
Do you know what I find though? You never need to be, you get so much detail in the dies, in the artwork. You never have to be afraid of white space with Carnation,
No.
because the artwork and the dyes just draw your eye in so much that the white space, you don't even notice the white space. They just look absolutely stunning.
I'll show you some more cards in just a second. Can I just show you this one though? We're not far away from Valentine's Day. I'm not wishing away the year, but Valentine's Day, a single red rose.
I was like, Easter, now we're on Valentine's.
Look at that. A single red rose, using that aperture die that curves, that wavy one, that just looks $1 million, doesn't it? So there's so many ways of using all the elements that you've got in here. The name of the collection, it's on the screen, it's called Petals and Threads, and it's the first collection of 2025. Here it is. All of these dies are coming your way at a special launch price of £109.99. It will go up at the end of the week if we have stock to £124.99. So everybody's getting the discounted price. Free UK P&P because you're spending over £50, so take advantage of that and go for maybe your perfect papers as well at the same time, because we're talking about that colour match, how important that is. So you could get your doily dies, you've got all of these amazing, I'll show you the amount of metal you've got here, all of that on the main die collection. You've got your decoupage elements for your roses and also for your hydrangeas and your gerberas as well. And you've got your eucalyptus sprig too, which is exactly the right kind of curvature to complement the doilies as well. There are 7 separate dies in that doily set. That's the first heart of the collection. Over here you've got your vessels that you can put the flowers in. You've got your teapot with the lid, you've got the pail, you've also got the vase there as well. That down there I think is like a little stick for your diffusers if you want to make it into a diffuser bottle. Next to that you've then got your apertures in the straight and also in the curved. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's dies in each of those. So you can make them and build them up, you can cut them and have them recessed, it's up to you, lots of ways of using them. Then you've got my favourite, the proud leaves. Let me just show you again what the proud leaves do. The proud leaves will cut probably 3/4 of the leaf out of the card, but leave 1/4 of it attached. So then you can lift the leaves up and tuck other things into them if you want to. They make great backgrounds as well. And then finally over here, you've got your sentiments, said with meaning. So you've got sent with happiness, sent with love, and you are wonderful. All of that for £109.99. 45% of the stock had gone at the start of the show. I haven't got an update yet in the show now, but we'll have one before the end of the show, I'm sure. And let me just show you what you can do with them. Paint some pictures. Here we go. This is another simple one, using the aperture dies to give a raised section in the middle with the beautiful hydrangeas and the buds over to the side. That is stunning. That's using an 8x8 card blank. Equally though, you can use the actual doily die as the card base itself, as the card shape. And that's just stuck together at the back, made into a tent card, and that will support itself beautifully. I showed you this one earlier on, but I just want to show it to you again. You can make tiny little cards as well if you want to. Just using the bucket, make it into a card blank with a couple of buds coming out the top of it. This one I don't think I've shown you yet. Again, using a DL sized card. Pam Simpson's done this one.
It's so pretty.
They're so gorgeous, and you can make them
really
as simple as you want.
Like all the depth and the dimension in the florals, can't you? And
Absolutely.
They're absolutely stunning.
I just love the fact that that is hugging the roses with those risen petals. This one is not using any of the flowers at all. It's just using, to great effect, Fiona Abbott's done this one, using the raised petals or the raised leaves. And the aperture in the middle with a little bit of the perfect papers behind. Stunning. Absolutely beautiful. So, don't forget, when you've ordered the dies, please go to the website and enjoy the free artwork. It's always there for you. We call them vignettes because they're posh. If you go to carnationcrafts.co.uk, which is probably where you've ordered this, go to the download section, free download section, and then you search for the name of the collection, which is, of course, Petals and Threads. And all that artwork will be there for you to print off right away. If you haven't got any pro paper, pop that into your order as well at the same time, because you'll thank us for it. If you do a little before and after yourself, if you've got copier paper and you print a sheet of the artwork off on that, and then get a sheet of pro print paper and print on that, compare the two. It's like chalk and cheese.
Yeah, it really is. If you've never tried it before, absolutely print something off in your normal paper and then print it off again in your pro print paper, and it's... You don't believe it until you see it. No, and you never go back. After you've tried it, you'll never go back.
Right, Laura?
Right, so for this one, we're going to make like a DL-shaped card. So I've got my card base, and I've got the solid colours in the pink. And I'm just going to pop this down using my foam tape. So this is just going to go on there like that. And then we're going to go in with that lighter pink, and I've got that swirl going through there. So I'm using white for my border, so just using this as a little matte layer, so obviously it doesn't get lost in that pink background. And this is just going to sit on there like that, so just leaving us that little border of dark pink around the edge, and then the light pink here with that swirl pattern is going to go on top. But like we said earlier, just having those perfect papers, it just makes everything that bit easier, that bit more effortless. Like you don't have to think about absolutely anything at all.
No. The perfect papers have got 2 different patterned designs and 1 plain design. There's 48 sheets in there.
Right, so what I'm going to do next is, I don't know, actually we'll pop them down with some, should we pop down with glue? So we're going to pop down so this is the middle doily. So this isn't the larger one, this is the medium size one, and then you've got the next size and the next size, and we're going to pop these in here. And I'm just going to use a little bit of pin flare just to give it a little bit of height. We're adding things on top of it, so I'm not worried about it being too high up. That's going to sit there like that.
Of course, as you got height, it creates a shadow, and the glue gel gives you that height, really.
And that's going to go there. And then we're going to pop the next one in. And even just with these, you could just carry on going, add all these different layers in, and it just looks amazing, just like that, just with all these layers in. This is going to go on there. So just add that one in, and I'm just adding them in just to add some more detail to it, because then this one, I've already put foam pads on the back here. I'll just put some glue on there. This is going to go in the centre. So if you ever make a mistake, just add glue on top of it.
Yeah.
So that is going to sit.
And it gives you movement time. So if you put something down that's a little bit off centre or a bit at an angle, and it shouldn't be, if you put foam pads down there, you're past the point of no return. Whereas glue gel, you can move it.
Yeah, or even if you are, maybe you're new to using foam, like pop a bit of your glue on there.
Yeah, that gives you
and then that will give you some wiggle time as well if you're a bit worried about putting things down. That's going to sit on there.
Everyday glue you'll find on the website, 7 bottles for every day of the week.
So we've got our card built up, and then pop that one in there.
Have you got your Tuesday glue today or not? Every day. Oh, I've got Friday. Oh well.
I'll get there. Right, next thing we're going to add in is You Are Wonderful.
Those glue bottles have really come in handy last week, couldn't they? Because no one knew what day of the week it was between Christmas and the New Year.
I know. I think we all get there, don't we? It's like, because you get into like, oh, it's Christmas Eve, and then it's Christmas Day, then it's Boxing Day, so you completely lose track of what actual day it is, because
and all your routines.
Your
totally
routine's out of whack, yeah, and like everybody like finishes work on different days, so it's like, yeah, it's nice. As much as I'm sad Christmas and things is finished, it's nice to just get back into a routine and get back to normal. Right, so this is going to sit about there. But what I'm going to do first, before I start sticking that in, is we're going to add some of the roses. So I'm sticking kind of with the pinks for this. So we'll just do it with glue.
If you've got any like little glass beads or clear acrylic beads, you could put one of those on there, like a dewdrop.
Yeah, there was one on one of the samples. The design team, there's some there on the leaves, but I've seen one on one of the roses somewhere. Oh, there you go, there it is.
Oh yeah, I think we actually sell these, don't we?
Do we?
We sell enamel dots, but if you haven't actually got any of these acrylic beads, you could just use like glossy accents. That would do the same job.
That.
It's like a dewdrop. We don't sell those, I don't think, but you may have got some in your stash. They look
Oh,
really
you can
good
see it there, look, on the leaf bed.
Yeah.
It is there on the rose, but pretty, aren't they?
Yeah, really cool. Like that.
Right, so your rose, we're going to add that layer in there, and then my glue is running out now. Add another one. That is going to just sit on there like that, and then look how much height you've got.
Beautiful.
So much dimension. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to add this one in.
The thing is, normally, if you work with cards that you make from card kits, for example, nothing wrong with them, they're great. But a card kit is always going to run out. You'll only have a certain number of sheets of toppers, and you'll have a favourite topper, and that will run out soon. The beauty of the artwork being printable from Carnation is that you can always print your favourite sheet many times as you like, free.
Yeah,
so
and
the artwork will never run out.
When you make and sell, you know, there's nothing worse than somebody will say to you, "Oh, I really like this card. Can you make it for me?" And you're like, "Oh, well, no, because I've run out of that now. You've got to pick something else." You know, it's so nice to just be able to do it, and especially, you know, when you've got things that you can just print out, so you haven't got to worry about anything. It's so nice because I am so forgetful, and somebody will ask me, or I'll remember about somebody's birthday, so I needed to make a card like yesterday. So it's so nice that I can just print something off straight away, and I can still make a card that looks absolutely stunning, that looks as if I've spent ages on it, when actually I've just printed it off and made it before I left the house.
And you'll always get the artwork free when you buy the die collection from Carnation. Sometimes, though, they do offer you, maybe at a slight extra charge, some other colourways in the same artwork. That's sometimes an option on the website as well. So
which is really nice, though, because just getting it in a different colourway sometimes just breathes new life into it. So you're never going to look at it and think, "Oh, well, I don't use that anymore." You're always going to use it. And like we said earlier, because Nick draws everything, and then the team design everything around his drawings, it's all come from the same mind. So everything works together. So you're always going to be able to mix it in. It's not like you're just buying one collection and that collection goes on its own, and then the next collection goes on its own. It's just one collection. So then we're going to pop some glue on there. This one now is going to go on the bottom on this side, and then so again with those leaves I've cut into them because I wanted them to go in different shapes. So that is going to go,
and we mentioned it before, but it's not just the actual outside cutting edge that's important with the die, it's the detailed dies or detailed cuts on the die that cut into the actual petal of the flower. That allows you then to sculpt it with a ball tool to get shape without creasing the paper or the card.
it's just absolutely everything with Carnation. It's just effortless how they put it together, and you know, it just makes crafting fun and mindful, and that's what we want. We don't want to, you know, I said it earlier, nobody gets into crafting because they want something else to stress about.
No.
You know, crafting is when we escape from everything, and you don't have to think about things, and it's just that, like, escape for like an hour or so, that you can just be creative and not have to worry and think about things. So it just makes everything so much easier. Now that is just going to sit across there like that, and then we've got that.
Love it.
So you are wonderful. I mean, just, and that's in the pink. So going from like the one we did earlier, if I can grab it. So, you know, going in with the greens and the oranges.
Two stunning cards.
To the pinks. So you can really mix and match it up. I don't know what the other one, well, I did.
Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous.
You know, you can use them in different colourways. So even if you just focus on one, so even if you took the whites out of that and went more in with the peaches, you could do that again, but just using the oranges and the peach. So, you know, think of mixing and matching the colours.
There's no way you could walk into a card shop and buy a card like that. There's no way.
And I dread to think how much that would be in a card shop.
Well, if you could find one like it,
No.
I really don't think they exist. Let's have a little look at some others though, quickly, before I just recap for you. Sue Dalrymple of our design team has done this. Now, this I'd not seen until just a second or two ago. I wanted to show you this because she's actually used the Proud Leaves dies to create a complete background. Aren't they gorgeous? And remember, this shows them off really well. She shaped the leaves beautifully. I think she's used some Centura pearl cardstock by the look of it as well.
I think that's the, what was it, Snow White, the one that I used earlier.
Okay.
So it does work really, really well. Hang on, let me check the name of it, because if you want to have a look. Yeah, so it's Snow White, and
Snow White Centura pearl.
Green Gold was the other one that I used.
Okay,
So
and here's
if you wanna
another
use them.
play on that as well from, again, Sue. Sue obviously is a fan of the Proud Leaves dies as well. That's a pictured background, but
I
again,
bet you
the
that's
leaves
one
cut
of
into it.
the
The downloads.
downloads.
Printable download
yeah.
papers. Yeah, the backing papers which you can print off. So you'll probably find that one on the website free as well. But what a lovely effect, just a simple hydrangea. I mean, that could be a sympathy card. It could be for any occasion. Hopefully it's not a sympathy card, but it could be if you wanted it to be. Let me show you a few more over here that I've not shown you yet. Seems a sin not to show them to you. Everyone's spent so much time and effort making these. Barbara Trebwell. I mean, you can always tell when the design team have loved a collection. We get so many back. You know, I'm not sure how many they're asked to make, but it's never a chore, is it?
No, and they're so fun to use, and you can see how effortlessly they put together. And do you know what I love about when we go through the design team samples is all the cards that they make. They all look so different.
Yeah, everyone's different twist.
Yeah, everybody's got their own style, and you know they will all look different. But that's just so nice that you can actually get a collection that you can get home and you can twist and play on that will fit so many different styles, so many different themes, so many different occasions that you can use these for.
Now, it has been really well received, this collection. We'll have another update when we start the third show in about an hour's time at 2 o'clock this afternoon. It is here. It's brand new for 2025. It's called Petals and Threads, and you're going to get all of these dies, as you can see. The heart of the collection, obviously, is the doily dies with the eucalyptus, the hydrangea, the rose, and the gerbera down the bottom there as well. All the artwork for all of this, it's free to print off right now. Do look for those downloadable background papers and sentiments and inserts as well. They're very often on there free of charge too. And you've got artwork basically for virtually everything. You won't have artwork for the Proud Leaves, but you will have artwork probably for virtually everything else in the die collection today, including even the sentiments will probably have artwork. I would have thought sometimes there's artwork for that.
I don't think there is for
not for this one. But there certainly is for the bucket, and also of course the teapot and the vase, and all for all the flowers and all the foliage as well. Sent with happiness, sent with love, and you are wonderful. Other three sentiments that you've got there. The whole collection is yours for $109.99. You can use interest-free PayPal Pay in 3, and of course ClearPay is also interest free too if you want to spread the cost of it, or pay in full and it will be on its way. You've got about an hour until our postie normally arrives to pick up the afternoon mail, and it might even be with you as early as tomorrow if you order it now. So if you order it at carnationcrafts.co.uk, it's free P&P. $109.99 will get you the collection, and then you can enjoy the afternoon printing off all that lovely artwork free of charge for hopefully the arrival of your dies, if not tomorrow, maybe the next day as well. And if you're in America, you can order this as well. Remember, your P&P or shipping and handling in the States is $4.95 if you just want the dies, which is amazing value for the shipping and handling to the States. If you want the dies and you want the perfect papers, or you want some pro print paper, then your shipping and handling is capped at $14.95. Okay. Laura, thank you.
Thank you.
Great to see you. I'm back next month. Laura's got another show though at 2 o'clock this afternoon. I'll see you on Hobby Maker later on this afternoon if you're watching that later. And there's 3 shows tomorrow too, so lots more inspiration to come with this brand new collection. Enjoy the afternoon, and we'll see you back here at 2.